Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, I am playing my Dwarf Paladin, who is level 9. He's a little sliver away from being level 10. I turned in a whole bunch of belts. Did I just get attacked? I think I did. Hold on, guys. Oh my god, I thought we would be perfectly safe in here. Okay, let's hope this is not a high level. I don't think it is yet, it's green. That ruined the whole illusion. What I was gonna do is, I was gonna do this whole role-playing thing where we're stopped in here for the night, because as you can kind of hear, it is raining outside. And so I was gonna do this whole, weird, traveler stopped in, at a fireplace in a warm bed, waiting out the storm. Because a lot of the time in this game, you're treated like it's somewhat real in the sense of, oh, you gotta eat, you gotta drink, you gotta, make sure your dwarf is waiting for his health and his power to go back up, almost like you have to rest. There's even a fatigue bar, so I like the old, mud-based games, the text-based games that kind of made you do that as well. You'd be traveling down a road and it would say, oh, it's getting dark. It says, do you want to stop for the night? You can set up camp. And if you didn't set up camp, bad things can happen to you. And so I think it's one of those lost things in video games nowadays, which is just to stop you in your tracks and say, hey, this is a big, long journey that you're on. And, like in real life, you got to stop every so often. And I think that kind of prepares you a little bit, for taking your own trips, because I think a lot of people don't realize just how exhausting, driving long distances can be. After like the third or fourth day of traveling, you're cramped and your legs are all sore and everything like that. And if you haven't been stopping every so often to really, just rest for a few hours and relax and maybe go off and see some of the sights, you're going to be in pretty bad shape by the time you get there. And I think it's kind of the same thing that they're trying to go for in this game. I wish I could just prop this door open with like a rocking chair or something. This is perfect weather to sit out on your front porch. And you can see now I'm out in the rain getting all soaked. It would be funny, but I'm sure it was way past the ability at the time this game came out, which would be to, get you sick, give you a cold that kind of stayed with you for an hour and a half or something like that. Or, if you were out in the rain and then you went to, say, a cold climate and then maybe you went to a hot climate right afterwards, which is possible if you were, say, like a druid who can just kind of teleport around. I think that would be cool to give you like ammonia or something that maybe not that severe, because that might, dredge up bad memories for some people getting that kind of thing. But, like just innocuous diseases that you come up with just for being outside, and you can explain it with some lore of, it's spread by gnomes, or it's spread by goblins, or, maybe one of the gods is spiteful and he's angry and he's doing something to Norath at the moment, and so if you're caught outside in the snow, it does something. But I think, it's just one of those old D&D things where some of the coolest information and quest and items could be gotten at like the local tavern. Like that was the place that you not only stopped because you had to, but because you wanted to. Like you could find some really, really cool stuff like that. And in this one, not really the same feel. Like they kind of did to a certain extent, but usually on a much larger scale, and not like from, like this zone is pretty big and it will take you like 10-15 minutes to get through, sometimes more if you don't have So or Sal or Spirit of the Wolf, and you may be a little bit overweight or really overweight. It can take you a while to get through it. And I don't know, I think just my love of D&D and that kind of thing is just bring me back to, I wish they had put something like that in here. Let me go back into the options and turn that stuff on so I can see if something else attacks me. But yeah, I was gonna sit over here on the bed and do like a whole role-playing thing. Maybe I'll do it another time, but it just kind of broke the feel of it when that guy came in and attacked. I thought I'd be perfectly safe in here. I didn't think anything would get me. There's a couple guards out here and everything, so he must have just got really lucky and walked right through some kind of little... Yeah, because I guess there's no guards over here on this side, so that does kind of suck. But it's pretty cool that you do got little blacksmiths out here, and they're not even here for anything that I'm aware of, maybe a quest, but they just kind of add that stuff out here every so often to make the world look like it's actually inhabited. Where I've gone through some games where in between, from one town to another, there's nothing, you know, not even like little villages or anything like that. Maybe a farm, but it's always an abandoned farm with nobody in it. You know, nobody's out there actually moving around in the fields, or, you know, having a farmer out there. Maybe you can trade or do a quest for him for crops, or maybe you can trade, or maybe he only buys food, and so therefore you can go to sell to him or buy, you know, food from him, and it gives you a vendor that's kind of closer by. As you can see, there's already another little guardhouse just, you know, a few feet down. This one's even bigger than the other one, I think. Yeah, it is actually. That's pretty nice. I like that. But I was actually going to be playing my cleric tonight over in Highkeep because I really, really wanted to play over there. I had just done a video, and I don't know if these are going to be in order or not, but I have just done a video where I travel over there, and I had all these troubles with the video, and this video thing kept freaking out on me, and I finally get it all working, and I get into the zone, and there's only like 6 people in the zone, and all 6 people are in one group, and I'm sitting there for like an hour off camera waiting for a spot to open up, and I'm not even sure I'll be able to get in it because there was a pretty high level person there, and I wasn't sure if I would get experience with them in a group, and you know, they would rather have the high level obviously than the low level cleric who doesn't even have his level 24 spells. So because I'm not level 24 yet, I'm just right there. I'm like a bubble and a half away. And so I was sitting there and nothing ever popped up, so I was like, you know what, I'll go log on my Shadow Knight. Maybe I'll do a video over there in East Commons to do, you know, at the Orc Camp or something like that. So I get all the way over there to the Orc Camp, and there's nobody there. Like, it's completely empty, so I sit there for about 45 minutes looking for a group, hoping to, you know, start one over there at the Orc Camp 1 in East Commons, which is usually almost completely always camped. This is the first time I've seen it in a very, very long time where it wasn't actually camped. Let's see what's in here. Anything good? I mean, some rawhide for a cheap amount. Yeah, not really anything you want to spend any money on. I guess it's a good place to come to sell, and it does have, well, the backpack pattern, but it doesn't actually have backpacks, so if you're a newbie and you're looking for one of those, not the place to come to, unless somebody over here sells it. Let's go look at that. Let's see. Nope. Small bronze breastplate, that's pretty nice. You gotta remember, though, with the bronze, you know, it has a high AC, but sorry guys, but you know, the weight is so bad on it. Chainmail, yeah, it's okay, I guess. You know, because I just put a whole bunch of bronze on my Shadow Knight, and he has quite a bit of strength. I mean, that's one of his talents, or his main, you know, stats. Is his stamina and his strength. Obviously strength for the amount of damage he can do, but you also have to take into account that the armor you get weighs a lot of you know, poundage to it as you get better and better gear. Now there will become a point where you get even better gear than that tier, and the weight will go down, but the stats will somewhat stay the same or go up just by a small amount. But if the weight goes down, that dramatically changes and helps you out. Because again, you don't have to worry about your weight, and as a pooler, you know, if you have too much weight, not only does your AC go down, so you take hits harder, but your agility goes down, which means you move slower, which is almost like taking more hits in general, because if you're the pooler, the longer you're out there away from the group, the slower you're going, the more chance the creature is going to catch up to you and hit you the whole way back. And if that's going on, then you're taking quite a bit more damage than you should be, putting more stress on the cleric or whoever the healer may be, and it's just not really a good idea. So you really have to, you know, I hate to use the word weigh your options on that one, but it's true. You got to decide if the piece of armor is worth it in the beginning, because it may have great AC on it, but you know, it has an enormous amount of weight, and you just can't afford to have that and still be able to move around. So I got the small bandit stuff right now, and I do have a sword that gives me an extra 10 strength. So, you know, weight's not really too big of an issue for this guy, but it can be, because once I go over to Crushbone, which is where I'm going over here tonight, hoping that there will be a group there, because I don't know what to do otherwise. It's, you know, I need to make a video tonight, and there's nobody on to make one with. It's weird. Usually these these zones, you know, like East Commons for sure. Like that's the go-to one. If everything else fails, go to East Commons and sit there and wait for an hour to get into the group because there's always a group there. So when that one failed, I was like, what? You know, that's crazy. I've never really seen that. The only other time I've even seen remotely like this is I logged on, and the group apparently had just broken up, and I showed up in between groups, and so I was sitting there for like 5-10 minutes before like 4 or 5 more people showed up and be like, hey, let's put a group together, and so it was just one of those timing issues. But this one, you know, there wasn't nobody coming. I mean, that was like 45 minutes I sat there waiting, trying to put one together, and it just nobody, not even another person, kind of showed up and looked around and they're like, oh, nothing's going on. You know, like literally nobody showed up and nobody sent me messages. And it was just, okay, that's completely dead over there right now. And it is pretty late. I mean, it is like 2 a.m. Actually, it's 3 a.m. in the morning, my time, and you know I'm behind on videos again, so I had to get up real early and you know make a video. I just can't find anybody to make one with. Now, we're going to run over to Crushbone, and I did do a Who-All Crushbone. And for those of you who are not aware of that, I don't know if that was classic. I don't think it was, but I could be mistaken. Maybe I just never knew about it back then. But you can do a Who-All, like always, and that would show you Who-All, you know, Shadow Knight, or Who-All Paladin, or Who-All, you know, Cleric. And it would show you all the clerics up to a certain point. I think the number is like 30 placeholders, and then beyond that it doesn't show you anybody. And if you do it again, it may show you a different 3 or 4 people, and then you keep doing that, and eventually you'll go through you know, all the clerics. And if you get on real late at night, you might actually be able to get a full list of every cleric you know, that's actually on the server right now. Or you can do a Who-All looking for group, and you can see everybody looking for a group up to like 30 placeholders. And so if you do a Who-All and then the zone name, you can actually see everybody who's in that zone up to, again, like 30 characters, so, or 30 spaces. So I don't know if that was classic. I don't think it was. I never used it if it was, because that seems like a little bit of a cheat, because then you could figure out if it was a good zone to go to at the time, which is kind of what I just did. I looked to see if anybody was even in the zone to make it have an idea if it was worth my effort to actually travel there, because it is kind of a long trip. And as you guys can see, I'm not even you know, like 15 minutes in, and we're just getting there to the zone entrance. And I don't even know if I can get into a group over here, because there were 7 people in the zone, and 6 of them were within level range to group with one another. So I was like, oh, well, maybe they do have a group going, but if they do, it's completely full. Of course, you guys had to stun me. Bunch of buttheads. Now, I would say train to zone, but, oh, man, what are the chances somebody was going to be there? Oh, thankfully they're red, so maybe those mobs won't hit them. But I was going to say, I would say that, except in this area, it's almost a given that you know, every 3 or 4 minutes somebody's going to pass by those mobs if nobody's out there killing them on their way to the zone. It happens so often that I don't really ever see anybody else do it. Like, nobody else ever shouts out, you know, let me see if anybody else is in the zone. Yes, 7 people. So, do I have... No, I don't. I don't have a hotkey yet on this character looking for groups, so I will just go ahead and OC it. Level 9. Pally. LFG. Please tell if interested. Okay, so that's out there now. I should kill a few of these guys while I wait, because, again, you can see just how close I am to level. I mean, I'm going to look right there on the line. Come to TM if you wish. Throne TM. Taskmaster. There, okay. Ah, man, it's been so long since I've been in the zone. I haven't been in the zone in... let's see, like 100 episodes or something. I've been everywhere else but this area, so on my way. And the reason I think behind it is that I stayed so long with my cleric that it was just nice to get out of there. Let's see, can I get by these guys without getting attacked? Probably not. So I can either kind of skirt it and get attacked by 2, or I can just run by 1 and accept the fact that I'll probably get attacked by that guy. Now, this is where it comes into be a problem when you actually have jumps with a dwarf. It's not really the TM. You did say TM, right? This is the trainer. I don't know what I was thinking. Taskmaster is, I believe, right around the corner. Yeah, I think he is. Yep. Okay. And we will find out if they have a group over here. It doesn't look promising yet, because if there was, this guy would probably be dead. And so would that guy. Okay, let's kill this guy off. Man, it's a good thing that we are able to do this. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get to this guy. We don't have invis or sneak or anything like that. My cleric, again, wouldn't really be able to do this at the level that he hunted here, because again, it's just one of those things where, as a cleric, you really don't do a whole lot of damage unless you're using a lot of power, and you really don't want to use your power for anything else other than healing. So, okay, this one might be a little difficult. Let me get over here and see if he's here. Oh yeah, there's a group here. Sweet. So now I can go ahead and kill this thing. They can try to invite me in. There we go. Oh, and I just woke it up. Great. Oh, crap. I need to make an assist button. Okay, well, he's not the right one to assist. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Okay, let me get over here real quick. I need to make an assist button before the next fight starts. And I don't know if I'll be pulling or not. Stop hitting me. Too much stuff, stop. He's really gonna listen. /. Dang it, stop typing in the dark. This is hard. Okay, I got my assist button. Anyone want to take over loot rotations? Oh, okay, so they're doing loot rotations on the belts. And we got a full group here. This is pretty nice. At this time, this is a really oh crap. I need to drag that over somewhere. Let's drag it over here, and we'll do this. Get a little closer. Dang it, get out of my way. Oh my god, I am so far behind on being a good tank with this guy. I should have had all this ready before I even joined. What is this guy? That looks like a pretty cool weapon. What level is he? What was his name? Callus Darkstar. Okay. And I should be over here attacking already. Dang it. Why? What's he doing? Is he giving us buffs? Let's see. What level is he? I guess he's a 60 sorcerer. That's he's gonna help us. Oh, he's doing that spell. What is that? It ticks them off to no end though. And I've seen people do that where they pull like 60, 70 creatures and they just spam the crap out of that thing. And that's exactly what he's doing. And he just spams it over and over and over again. K and Alpha is fine with me. Okay, K and Alpha is fine with me. C's, you're up for belt. Okay. But yeah, they're spam that button over, and I'm sorry guys for the lapse in concentration here. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, because again, I haven't been in this zone for a while, and I haven't been a puller in a while, or tank, and it doesn't seem like I'm going to be either in this group, because they already have a nice little, setup going on here, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes saying like I'm better than they are, because I'm not in this regard, because it's been so long since I played this character. Plus there's some guys here in what appears to be at least bronze armor, so I'm guessing at the very least looted the belt. Whose turn was it? Oh, okay. But yeah, at the very least, did they switch targets? I don't know what they're doing. I should be spamming my taunt button. I'm not even doing that, so Yeah, I gotta get on the ball here, guys. Oh, great, I hit the wrong button. Okay, well, I am sucking so bad. And I went ahead and assisted the wrong target. Dang it. Jeez, guys, I could not be any worse. This is not a good sign. Incoming a bunch. Holy crap, guys, look at all this. Went ahead and zoomed in so you can get an idea of what it looks like up close. This is just crazy. I don't know how many he pulled, but it's a lot. Hold on, guys. I need to pause the video for a minute. Sorry about that, guys. I had to stop there and get something to drink real quick, so my voice was getting pretty scratchy there. And I was losing concentration pretty badly trying to keep up with what was going on. And I'm just waiting for our guy to target somebody. And it doesn't look like he is. Here we go. Legionnaire is what he's going to get. Which one is he targeting now? That's the problem, is if he targets another player, it changes your target to that player if you hit the assist button. And then you hit the assist button again, and it targets what that target, or what that player is targeting. And so if you're not paying attention enough, you'd actually will go from one target to the next target to the next target, which kind of sucks if you're trying to just assist one person in particular. And he's using the other person to assist through kind of like if there's a puller and then there's the main tank. A lot of the time the main tank will assist immediately the puller and then pull that mob off, and then you know, the puller will move the other ones off to the other side of the room or something, so they can be mezzed and maybe just taken off so they don't, you know, create an area effect or whatever the case may be. But you know, the one that the puller is targeting may not always be the target you should have, and so if you do it too soon, you may get the wrong target too quickly and you know, kind of mess up Mez and then the Enchanter, and everybody in the group's gonna jump all over you for that. So you do kind of you have to be a little careful with that. And I'm still learning the whole thing all over again because it's been a while since I've been in a group with the tank, and I'll be going through this exact same thing with my my Shadow Knight when it comes time. So it's nice that I can go ahead and get the experience with this guy and build up, you know, maybe a reputation as a pretty bad Paladin who's not very good at his class yet. But when I go over to my Shadow Knight, it'll be a lot better at just tankage stuff, and I won't get that reputation because I really want my Shadow Knight to do well. My Shadow Knight is that character that I played back in the day, and you know, as I said before, you know, one of my older brothers, my oldest brother, he played a Druid, which I have not played yet. I probably will one day, but I haven't played it yet. And then my other older brother, he played a Paladin. And so a lot of the time, all the gear that I would get, I would never really get to sell any of it. I would just kind of just hand it down to either you know, my brother who's playing the Paladin, or to my other brother who's playing the Druid. Because again, I had a Shadow Knight and I had a Cleric, so a lot of the stuff Shadow Knights get, Paladins can also wear. Maybe not. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, but it's not everything. There's stuff that Shadow Knights obviously only get to wear, and stuff that Paladin only gets to wear. And but there's a decent crossover between the two. So when I got rid of something at a lower level, chances are he got it, because not a lot of the stuff that you get at a lower level is really tailored to your specific class. Like at a certain level, you start getting. That was a lot of experience. I don't know how much experience we got off of that. About 1/3 of a bubble, maybe? That's not that great. It's better than nothing, but yeah, it's, you know, at a certain point, you'll start getting items for, like, a Paladin that give you, you know, wisdom. And so those would be completely worthless to a Shadow Knight. And so my stuff would all have intelligence. And when I got rid of it, you know, he wouldn't really want it because it didn't really add the stuff he wanted. But below level 30, most of the stuff you get is going to be like strength or stamina, and very few of it's going to have intelligence or wisdom on it. And even if it does, From what I've seen, a lot of the time, it has both. It has the wisdom and the intelligence on it, and it's like one or two of each. But he took a lot of my stuff, and then my other brother took the rest of it really. And what was left was usually used to pay for spells between all of us. So if they needed extra platinum, they helped me out, and if I needed extra platinum, they would have helped me out. I said would have because I leveled so much quicker than they did. Because I was still going to high school, so a lot of the free time that I had added up to be more than they did because, one was working full time and had been for, 10, 15 years, and the other one was going to college, so not a whole lot of free time for them at the moment that we were all playing. So, I always had more cash than they did. I always had more armor and stuff than they did, and they were, they wouldn't ask me for this stuff, but if I got it, I'd be like, yeah, why not? You should take this because it's going to help your character out, and I know what it's like to not have the gear. I just did that, and it's really hard, and any gear you get makes a huge difference in this game, and I actually know what kind of gear your character should have and should use now, and it's amazing to be able to pass that down and finally be somebody who's like knowledgeable on the game, because for a long time there when you first joined, and I'm kind of in the same boat all over again, where I'm relearning a whole bunch of stuff, but for a long time there, you're just a huge noob, and you have no idea what you're doing, and you're always asking questions, and you're just, if you're smart, you're asking questions, you're inquiring on, what's going on, and it's a really cool feeling to finally get out of that and not be, so. It's good to have the rest of the game, anyways. We make a button on the first line type assist. Okay. If you use a hotbar assist, who can give them or chemistry? Okay. Just making sure I'm not looting or missing anything. Crushbone shoulder pads. Okay, yeah, I'm not missing anything there. But yeah, it's when you finally get out of that stage and you can actually help somebody else out. Like you see somebody in a zone that you're really familiar with because at a low level you got lost in there and you had to kill to get your way out. And now you see somebody else, screaming at the top of their lungs, "How do I get out of this zone?" And you can just see it in their words. You can feel that frustration that you once had for being lost in the zone and just like, I just want out, And when you can see somebody like that and then run over to them and actually find them and help them out of the zone and give them, a few little pieces of advice and send them on their way, maybe with a couple pieces of gear as well, it's really, really cool because you feel like you're giving back to the community. And at that point, even if the community hasn't given you a whole bunch because you were there at the beginning and there was really nothing to be given because nobody had anything, it's just like doing that means so much because you went through that. And if you can save one person that frustration, it's all worth it, even if it takes you, 10 or 15 minutes to do it, which it may take you longer than that, to be honest. Is he going to kill that? Oh, he brought it over here for us. Yay, you sure? Okay, well, if you're going to get the aggro, I don't want to get the aggro on my guy, which is why I'm not taunting. If you need, you can have it. She needs to watch out. She's the wizard, and she died a minute ago because she got aggro when that guy was casting all his spells on those creatures, and the only reason that would have happened is if she wasn't assisting and she was blasting the crap out of it, and that's apparently what she was doing, and so she got aggro off of one of the creatures. Is he about to die? Oh, he is about to die. Just let this guy get aggro. Don't see him. If you need, you can have... Oh, yeah. That sucks. I figured he was a high enough level if he brought it over here for us, but apparently he wasn't. Needed to get pet to attack. Okay, here he comes back. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and... Where's our tank? There he is. Oh my god, look at all that. And it's still coming. And there's some really, really high level ones in there, like the Royal Guard. Oh, standing way too close. Way too close. Again, the wizard gets aggro. She's doing something she's not supposed to. Go ahead and back up. Let him get aggro again. And once our guy starts attacking, that's when I will go ahead and assist. Holy crap. It's killing me. Oh my god, that was the ambassador coming back because the other guy zoned or died. And just till with the damage. Yeah. Did nothing. It could have been true. She might have not have been doing anything. Although the fact that it keeps happening so often kind of leads me to believe that she probably did and she doesn't want to admit to it, or she doesn't even realize what she just did to get that. I think she was just sitting too close to the fight. You know, if you're too close to mobs that don't have too much aggro on, and he just popped out of the fight to make sure we weren't getting any hits, that's pretty nice of this guy. This guy's being freaking awesome. I'm surprised, you know, he's over here just taking the time to help people out. It's amazing when they do that. This is looking funny. Let's go ahead and put on our little window right there. That way you guys can watch it. I'll go ahead and put on faded level. Put that down to 0. Way down. Everyone be sure to thank Callus. He's doing very cool about helping us. I know he's here with the rest of us. Did you kill him, bud? Okay, yeah, he came back. Yeah, that was really, really nice that he's doing this. So another big shout out to this guy. He's with the Asgard, so I've heard good things about them. I've heard, you know, that they're a nice guild. I watched Surican's podcast, and I believe the Asgard were the ones that were a casual raiding guild, so I hope that's right, because I don't want to say if it isn't, but I believe they were a casual raiding guild, and you can kind of show up when you want, and nothing's mandatory. Other than I think it was, Maya had like 15 hours a week or something that you had to been on to be still, you know, in the guild. I think that's what I hate it now. Just don't hold me to that, guys. I just remember good things about him, to be honest. So hopefully I'm right about that much. But the fact that he's over here just chilling and hanging out and pulling the zone is pretty cool. I don't remember any reason to work on your faction in the zone, but I guess, yeah, I kind of did it as my cleric at a certain point when I got bored. I would go back to those zones that I didn't get max faction with and level up and just get that to be as high as possible, because again, the higher the faction you have with a given group of people, the cheaper they will sell you things and the more money they will pay for things. It's not really a huge... I'm not even attacking, am I? It's not really a huge increase, but it is somewhat noticeable and not really worth the time. Just have one person loot all. You can roll on specific items at this point. I'm sure the experience for all of us is worth it. And split at the end, or just grab someone once in a while. Let's just grab once in a while. Okay, that's fine with me. Yeah, this is too quick for one person to really keep up with and try to do the loot random on that one, because, you know, the moment we get through all of these mobs, the earlier ones that we had just killed are basically repopping, because we're not killing them nearly fast enough, because he's pulling so many of them. So it's kind of like if a group was able to kill 30 or 40 mobs within their general vicinity, which is actually a lot of mobs. Usually it's not even close to that amount, but just say 30 or 40 mobs, you know, decide on the ridiculous side of it. If they're able to do that, let me go ahead and delete one of these things. But they're able to kill that many mobs before the original ones start respawning. He's pulling like 150 mobs, which means we're basically getting 3 or 4 groups worth of mobs, which again, that was a high number to begin with. So it's probably a lot more than that. And we're not getting through them nearly quick enough to avoid repop. And so he's not having a problem whatsoever once he goes back out to get a whole bunch more. And so basically he's kind of split it up into 2 or 3 groups of the whole zone. And he'll pull that first group, bring it back to us. we'll kill it in the amount of time it takes us to kill it in, which will give the second group that he goes a little further into the zone, pulls that back. It gives that first group a little bit of time to repop, but it doesn't repop before he brings that second group back, and then by the time we're done killing the second one, he pulls the first one back again, or he may be off to the third one if we're killing fast enough, but that's how he kind of has the zone broken up right now. Instead of being like in groups themselves, he's not pulling from like the throne room and the wall. He's pulling from everywhere in the zone, including the throne room and the wall. But the whole zone is his his pulling point now. So we're getting some pretty crazy groups. I mean, you get like 2 or 3 names in them, and it's not really something you will really ever see. There's like one group in Sev that I remember that actually has, it's something like 3 or 4 names. It might be 4 names, one in each corner. And then if you go down the hall, if your group is good enough to do it, and then run back, you can get a 5th room down there with a 5th name. And that's pretty much the only time you will get into any area that is, that cramped and that tight, that you will have that many names in one location. So when he's pulling 3 or 4 names every time, it's pretty rare. It's a pretty cool thing to see. Just the fact that 3 or 4 names are even up at one time is a pretty cool thing to see. Because is he? Is he dying? Is he gonna die? Let me click on him. No, he's still at full life. I was like, man, he's gonna die? No, that can't happen. What is he moving for? He was picking up the other ones, I guess, because we did get a couple ads there. How do you keep epic? Oh, yeah, his epic aggro little thing. That's what that red stuff is. That's pretty cool. So that's why he's doing it, because I bet he just got his epic, and he's showing it off. And I'm going link dead here. Nope, I'm coming back for it, maybe? Hopefully? With any luck. Yeah. AoE snare and staff of the temperate flux, which I can't click on at the moment.